These are the tales and ramblings of two men and their dream of
Recording
running a
in progress.
successful food truck business.
Yay!
in life. We invite you along to join Josh and Skippy on this journey. This is
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, for those of that could hear the intro just 2 seconds ago while Skippy was laughing over it, welcome to the Monday Morning Food Truck. It is a Monday morning, August.
Welcome to our first ever podcast
Jesus
episode. Sorry.
Have you ever had those weeks where you just kind of feel cursed? I know.
Oh, yes.
We had talked
Just
in
about
June.
everything.
We were getting to the last week of June. And I said as long as there was no catastrophic events, we were going to have our best month ever.
Yeah, you bucked that
And
up.
we only had, we had one of our generators went out, which wasn't a big deal. We were able to replace the same day. We didn't lose any time in service. Whatever. Boy, if shit could go wrong this week, it did. We actually had other
Really?
food trucks call us bad luck this week.
I mean, I've called you that for years.
How you doing, Skippy?
Well, I normally start it out, so let's. I'm just having fun right now. We just capped off our best month ever, so I'm very excited about that.
Congratulations. I'm very happy for you.
Two thumbs up.
Many more prosperous months ahead of you, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we capped off our we just cracked it was like 36.
Awesome.
It's
a good month.
It was definitely a good month. I like to thank the Academy. Like to thank all our customers and of course my co-host and fellow podcast partner Sweet Rack Smoking Butts LLC for their ever giving of a kind word. Anyway, so how was your week?
Congratulations.
We always start off with mine. Let's start with yours.
Well, I don't know if we have enough time. Okay. Last Monday, we had talked about me having a puncher's chance of still beating last August, even without that $7,000. Drum roll, please. There's not a snowball's chance in hell we'll come close to it.
Whoops. So are you saying you got knocked out? Or you TKO maybe?
Tuesday was, just every day was, okay, first of all, we had a nice, cool weather week.
Yeah.
Not last week, the week before, where it was 50s to 60 in the morning. It wasn't super humid in the evening. And then last week fucking happened. And it was 100% humidity and fucking hot and miserable.
Definitely warm.
So it was like the first week of summer where no one's acclimated to anything because we all got our sweatshirts out the week before for the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
So no one fucking came out to anywhere. We had some of our worst evening subdivisions. Tuesday was atrocious. I think we did 250 for the night. Yeah. After a so-so lunch. So yeah, not a great start. Wednesday was a slower lunch. Again, 80, I think it was 87, 88 degrees, 100% humidity. I think the heat index was close to 100. I didn't want to go outside. No one wanted to go outside. So again, a slower lunch, and then we pull into Belmont. And as Chris and Caleb were setting up, they were, I think, about 10 seconds from opening when two Kent County Sheriff's deputies pulled up. Two different cars. Two cars. Because there had been a complaint made to the Plainfield Charter Township.
I thought they were just hungry.
Nope. Plainfield Charter Township, and we don't have the proper permit to continue.
Oh. Were you aware of such permit?
I'm getting there.
Okay. Sorry.
So he said, shut down. You guys aren't able to sell. You don't have to like fly out of here. He said, take your time getting shut down and everything. So Chris asked if that meant they could sell while they were still shutting down. The answer was no. We did that in the city of Wyoming when we got shut down there a couple of years ago.
Thanks, Chris.
He's like, go ahead and take your guys' time, get shut down. So we just stayed open. We couldn't get shut down until 6 o'clock that day. So it was a very long process.
Very long.
Very long. Anyways, so, I mean, they had people walking to the truck to buy food. They were that close to opening the window. So Chris ended up giving away a whole lot of food to a whole lot of families. They were all very appreciative. I got 3 messages from that neighborhood asking how to give us payment for the food they received. I said, don't worry about it. We'll be back in another week or so. Come then, buy food, bring some friends. So they shut down. I was not on the truck. I was home. And I had looked at Plainfield's website before. There is no food truck. There is no vendor license. There is no peddler's license listed anywhere in their township website. Apparently, so when I called, apparently what I need is a social gathering permit. You know, like you would have for a fucking house party.
Excuse me?
Yeah. That's the permit I need. A social gathering permit. You know,
for so we can't see it. I'm scratching my head in just bewilderment.
So, you know, we have to account for excess traffic, the people, possible security, noise levels. We have to outlay all this in this application. Yeah. Yeah. So I went through and I said...
Raising hand.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so... Just the one question. So, isn't whatever that is up to the person who booked the quote unquote event?
Yeah, it's John and Melissa Greco's fault.
Oh, was their sub?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
Where we've been there.
That's even worse.
We've been there 20 times.
Oh, I know.
So, it was somebody within the neighborhood that complained.
Are you serious? Jesus.
Which, they have an HOA. They have community Facebook groups. It's all been posted. Why not settle this through the HOA? If you don't want a food truck across from your house, I'm not saying it was the person directly across from them, but likely, from what I've been hearing.
Oh, no.
Why not settle it through the HOA? Or just approach your effing neighbor. I am so fed up with neighbors not willing to talk to their neighbors when they have a problem with said neighbor.
Yeah, if you got
so much of this shit can just be taken care of with a conversation. There are other people in that neighborhood that have already volunteered to have us set up in front of their houses.
Is there like a community pool or anything like that?
No,
Clubhouse?
No, they don't have anything like that. So I submitted the application. Our hope is to get there this week, which I'm going to guess will be a busy evening there whenever we get back. Just because of what happened. And we've had nothing but good support there previously. And Melissa said their Facebook group is blowing up with support for us. And then I caused a whole... I might get canceled, I'm not sure. A whole riot on my Facebook page, apparently, with one comment to somebody's comment on our post. They said that it's happening in Otsego where restaurants are calling and trying to get food trucks shut down. My only words. I had 3 words. You want to guess what the 3 words I commented were?
Make better food.
Yep. Which resulted in me not being an adult, me being unprofessional, me saying that person can't cook food and it doesn't make sense for me to tell that person to cook better food when they're trying to go to restaurants. It was all very misconstrued and people just looking for a fight. And this was from one of our top fans that started this whole shit show. So clearly aware of the vibe of our truck, how we don't take ourselves super seriously. Whatever. So I explained the whole thing, and it just made it worse. At which point, I just stepped back. And then we had some of our other followers kind of take the heat, and I am a fan of not deleting or hiding comments unless they are
derogatory.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some people reply to like, "Hi, I like your profile picture. Click here." Those ones I'll hide. But yeah, I'm all for free speech and for letting
before or after you click.
Sorry.
Well,
Anyway,
I click first. I mean, I got to see the pictures.
Of course.
So yeah, that was Thursday or Wednesday.
That's a shit show.
Yep, Thursday. I don't even remember Thursday.
That might have been your special, a shit show. You needed to come up with a shit show sandwich. Just so you know.
It's getting close.
Every Wednesday or Thursday needs to be the return of the shit show sandwich.
What the fuck?
You just put a whole bunch of crap on a bun.
Thursday we went to a couple locations. It was okay. It was still hot as balls. I think Chris ended up with a little bit of heat stroke. That's serious. That's not a joke. He had a really rough night Thursday night. From the moment he got home and into air conditioning, he couldn't regulate body temperature. Yeah, it was. I think that heat index on Thursday was 104, somewhere in that vicinity.
We had 100. We had 110.
Yeah.
When I open my garage door and it just hits me, like it's a wall of just.
Well, and that's what I was trying to get the family to leave the garage doors open, because they open the garage door, pull the car in, and close the garage door right away. So you have all the heat from the car just kind of radiating in the garage. And leave the doors open, let some air circulate.
Yeah.
Anyways, Thursday was an okay day outside of it being super hot. I've been watching the weather closely because the forecast was clear pretty much all week when we looked Monday. All sunshine, and there were some scattered chances just because of the humidity and stuff. But my big concern was Friday and Food Truck Fridays.
Yeah.
When we were at our evening location Thursday, started getting some alerts that there was a severe thunderstorm watch. Not a big deal. Got home, and as soon as I got home, it was just nonstop thunder. Hudsonville had sprinkles, a whole lot of lightning, a whole lot of thunder, not even really any wind. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what happens when you call the po-po on food trucks. We had a F1 tornado, which I know is a small tornado, on the ground for 8 miles, which went through which town? Belmont. Suck it. Which is where the subdivision we got shut down in. So you shut us down. 2 days later, sending a tornado your way.
However, nothing against the town of Belmont.
No. Or most of the fine people there. Yeah, in those Facebook comments, one of the people actually accused me of targeting the only other restaurant in Belmont. And even though I didn't mention their name, everybody knows who I was talking about. I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not from Belmont. I don't know what restaurant's there.
I do not frequent the town of Belmont.
Good Lord. Anyways, sorry. So anyways, yeah, it was pretty gnarly. A lot of straight line winds. I think Michigan had a total of 7 tornadoes that evening. I know your side got hit pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, F1 tornado on the ground for 8 miles, which crossed paths with the park that we were supposed to have for Food Truck Fridays, more or less. I hadn't even thought of it when I made my Friday. We just made our normal Friday post. I checked my email to make sure there was no emails from the organizer. Nothing there, so I go ahead and post, and I get a comment within 5 minutes from someone that lives down in that area. She's like, "There's trees everywhere. Are you sure it's a go?" Yes. So I email Alan, who's the head of the Grand Rapids Food Truck Association, who puts on the event. He says, "I haven't heard anything from the Parks Department. As far as I know, we're good to go." I said, "Okay, good enough for me, unless I hear otherwise." So we have access to the park to start setting up at noon. We like to be there pretty close to noon, even though it doesn't start till 4, just because of all the trucks and all the other vendors coming in. I'm an early person. I like to get there before other people do. So, yeah, we pull in. I think it was like 12:30, 12:45. We're the first ones there. Alan says, "Yep, I got the green light officially from the city at 11, so Everything's a go. So where the rally is an open field for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You go 10 feet north or south of this field, and it looks like a war zone. Just trees and branches everywhere. The streets in that area, I mean, there's trees down everywhere, but the streets are clear. So everything's happy. Everybody's pulling in. Mood is good. We think, you know what? It's either going to be dead because of the storms, or we're going to be super busy because no one in that area, probably within a 6-block area, has power.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the restaurants in that area don't have power.
Mm-hmm.
So a good opportunity for us to go down, cook food for some people that don't have power. At 3:30, event starts at 4. Alan is coming around to all the food trucks. The city's shutting us down. I got word from the mayor's office, he said. Stop prepping. We're trying to work this out. So the people that live across the street from the park, a couple of them have been trying to shut this thing down for 4 years because they don't like it. Whatever. So they contacted the mayor's office saying that they were victims of storm damage, and they didn't think it appropriate to have all the extra traffic down there while storm cleanup's happening. There was not a single utility truck, a city truck, or anything else on that street doing any cleanup that evening. Not a one. The streets were clear. There was room for parking. So, I mean, you know how barbecue, at least those that cook every day, the prep's
You're
done.
98% prepped.
We were ready. Like, we're ready to open at 3:30. Patty Matters, Lauren said she had another spot. She was going to a food rally down the road on Saturday that they would have access to the same lot. Couldn't hold all of us, but a few trucks, and we were invited if we needed to do that. I said, cool, at least we have a spot. We can try to sell some food, you know. So keep getting word. Lawyers are now involved. People asking if the city's going to reimburse for food. I'm trying to figure out who to send a bill to. I figured I'd just do a blast email to all City of GR employees and see if I can just get one of them to blindly pay the bill. So he comes back at, I can't hear you. Oh, gotcha. You're on the phone. Skippy's on the phone. I know he said that he was going to have some dirt delivered. So I'm getting, I guess, if that's what this phone call's about. So we'll hold while Skippy takes his phone call. Sorry, everybody. I didn't think he was going to be gone this long. So I'd be interested to see who else has been shut down by the police or townships or whatever. Been kind of blindsided by phantom permits when you've kind of done your legwork already and still get shut down. Or if it's just us. Because It's happened to us a couple times now. I'm not gonna say it's definitely been my fault. I mean, 90% of the time. I mean, that's just kind of, check one of those on the list that you can't go based on websites, and that townships actually need to be called. Which also prompted me to start a spreadsheet with cities, townships, and counties that we will be set up in, and the appropriate info needed to operate in those areas, and then share that with the rest of our local Facebook group, hopefully. Make it a working list that everybody can kind of benefit from, so no one gets blindsided. I know that we do have some areas that are absolutely 100% anti-food truck. So it's and I know there are a couple trucks that will go ahead and set up anyways and just kind of roll the dice on it, but Skippy is back.
I'm good for the time being until he gets here.
You're a dirt guy?
Yeah, well, my sand guy, I guess. I don't know. Anyway.
Why are you getting sand or dirt or?
We took out a bunch of trees in our front yard, and our yard needs to be regraded.
Oh yeah, so got a bunch of holes from root balls.
No, I have basically it's just a 3-foot drop off into like a ditch.
Oh.
Just from the way it was originally graded. So there's a bunch of trees. Anyway,
gotcha.
Keep going. So I heard most of what you said.
All
so
right, well,
was your spot with Patty okay?
Well, we didn't go. We haven't gotten there. So after hearing back, it was about, I think, 5 minutes to 4. We saw Patty Matters. Jesus Christ, dog.
I didn't hear him. You're good.
Okay. I saw Patty Matters put their menu out onto their trailer. So we figured we were good to go at that point. That they had gotten word. So the detachable menu, kind of like ours.
Yeah.
So as soon as they put theirs out, after we saw Alan go over there, because we were on opposite ends of a field. It's not like we were next door to each other.
Yeah.
We saw them put their menu out, so we figured they got the green light. We can go ahead and set up. Alan gets over to us. He says, okay, here's the deal. Here's how the city wants to spin it. He said, if you can offer any kind of discount to people that live in the second ward, then the city will spin it as a community outreach program for the storm victims. I said, okay, done. I mean, there's already people filtering in from the road,
yeah,
and walking around.
How do you know they're in the second ward?
So I said, so do I need to ID? I don't know what streets are in the second ward. I said, all right. I said, if anybody comes up and says they're in the second ward, we'll give them a 5% discount. He's like, all right, sounds good. I said, okay. We had one person say they were in the second ward. So it cost us all of 70 cents.
Fair.
So yeah, it was an okay night. It definitely was not what it usually is.
Yeah.
So we did about $2,000 less than we did there the first night we were there.
That hurts.
Yeah, because we had another $3,000 worth of food.
Yeah, that hurts.
So I had I think 15 pans of mac and cheese still. No, 14 pans of mac and cheese still.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Ouch.
the hell do you have that much room in your damn warmer?
I don't. But I have 4 Cambros.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we have them set up. So yeah, we use our warmer, the 4 Cambros, and the smoker if we have to keep shit warm. So for those, when we know we're gonna do, 300 to 400 people.
Yep.
By any means necessary. Shut the fuck up. I hate you. I'm gonna turn you into slippers. That's what I should have called you. Slipper and scarf.
Okay.
So there's
So how was your
that.
weekend?
There's Friday. So we've had 2 now events where clearly things aren't going our way. I was very grateful that we were able to open on Friday and be able to sell whatever food we could sell. Yeah, very grateful for that. So we get to Saturday, which is at the marina, and we also have a wedding that evening. Oh no, let's rewind a little bit. We also had a lunch catering job on Friday. That was just going to be a drop off. It was 20 people. Pork, chicken, coleslaw, cornbread. It was super small, super easy. A quick drop off. 20 people. So Chris just goes in his car and is going to meet me downtown at Riverside Park.
Sure.
She gets there and she's all confused because she figured we'd have the truck and we were serving off the truck. For now, what is not 20 people, but 15 people. Chris is like, no. And not for $400. So she got charged $400 for her drop off, and thought we were going to bring the truck down there and serve off the truck for her 15 people. I'm like, God.
There's a Yelp review.
Well, I'm going through the emails. Like, I'm trying to figure out if I misled in some way, and there was probably some assumptions made on both sides. But yeah, it's been the second half of this year has been a lot of emails being answered while we're busy or while I'm doing other things, so they're not possibly as clear. She was happy, the food was good, whatever. So yeah, Friday started good, ended great. Let's move to Saturday, where we're at in Holland at the marina. We weren't really sure what to expect.
New place?
No, we've been there. We were there a couple times in July and had pretty decent days. Good roadside days. I think 1,800 both days or something like that. We sold out one of them. So, I mean, yeah, good roadside days on a Saturday. Yeah, not bad. But with it being the end of summer, some schools back in session, there's a lot of out-of-town folks, a lot of Indiana, a lot of Illinois folks at the marina. So just not sure really what to expect. About a month ago, well, earlier in August, we had been reached out to about doing a celebration of life party, also at the marina. And then we also had a catering wedding that evening. So I told him, I said, well, we're going to be at the marina. The best we could do is probably just do buffet style for you, drop some food off. We can't really stay and manage everything for you. So after all that back and forth, that was the last thing I had said. No reply after that.
Oh boy.
So I didn't even think about it until we showed up, and they're literally in the same parking lot that the truck is set up at one of the hangars is the celebration of life. So I'm looking over there. I'm like, huh. Let me look back through my emails because I don't remember how it ended. Like, just with the way the week has gone, it would be perfectly fitting for them to say, hey, where's our food? Like, I was in that mindset already. So that's the last thing I saw was the best we could do is drop off food for you, chafing dishes, blah, blah, blah. So, like, I guess that's open-ended enough that they could be expecting food.
Stuck price?
So after about an hour, I work up the courage to walk over there and just talk to them, introduce myself, because we've only met through email, you know. So were you guys able to find food? She's like, oh yeah, no problem. We had another barbecue place is gonna cater it. I was like, oh, okay.
So first you're like, and you're like, okay, who?
Oh yeah, I mean, huge relief. Like, thank God that's at least going right.
Yeah.
And then there was a change to the menu for the wedding that I didn't even see until we were already at the marina. And it was for stuff that we didn't have on board, so I had to. So after we get there, I've sent Chris to GFS to pick up stuff we need to whip together this other side for 150 people while we're there. And then Sunday, we go up to Newaygo, and it was just
easy
fine.
Day, right?
It was an easy day. It was actually the best day of the week, and it kind of felt like things were going to start to turn the other direction. So I don't know. I'm kind of Last week was a week, and I'm exhausted, and it was the kids' first week back to school. It was just a week altogether. Not a great stress level week in this household last week. So this week will be better. I hope. God, I needed a better week this week. But yeah, only a couple days left of service in August. Our September schedule is banging. Our weekends are absolutely full. We got some weddings. We have some food truck rallies. Another festival coming up towards the end of September, I think. So yeah, it should be a good month. I'm going to guess we're going to see roadside start to rebound a little bit now that we're past heat. We actually had one of our better starts that we've had in Newaygo in over a month. So where it had been kind of slowing down, we saw a little bit of a pickup, which was nice. I'm going to attribute that to the a little bit cooler temperatures. People being out and about a little bit more outside. So yeah, that was my week.
That was a long week.
It felt like 3.
Yeah, that was a 20-minute long week.
All for lackluster sales numbers, and yeah.
Well,
That's how we do.
Well,
You had a much more productive and exciting week, though.
yeah, actually, I mean, it was probably one of our best gross sales weeks.
And you spent money last week, too. Officially.
Thanks for reminding me again. Anyway, so Monday after we did our podcast, I had a drop off at a school. Was told it was 30 people. Ended up being 50 people. And they ordered on our per pan menu. So what they ordered is what they got, which they ordered a half pan of pork, half pan of wings, full pan of mac, full pan of street corn, and half pan of slaw. Was originally going to be for 30 people, and then it turned into 50 people because I guess teachers have aides that they want to feed too. So I always send an email like,
You gotta
"Hey,
feed your aides."
Gotta feed your aides. And I got an email back that said food was great. Everybody loved it for the people that were able to take part. So they ran out of food.
Ugh. Yeah.
So, and I thought that was going to happen when I walked in and I talked to the lady. I said, I'm about a half hour down the road. I can bring more if you need it. Call me and I will bring more if it's needed. Anyway, so she didn't call me, but she said no, it was great. I said, well, hey, I sent her an email later in the week. I said, hey, I want to make it right. Next teacher in service day, let me know, and I'll come drop off a pan of pork or something like that. And she's like, nope, don't worry about it. It's all good. We're no negativity. We're all happy that you provided food to us. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then I had a food truck rally at a local high school that was. They charge 10%. The high school has what they call an after prom party. It's basically like a quote unquote safe space for after prom. So kids, doing what prom kids do. And
yeah,
we did like 130 tickets, sold out mostly. The next day was the second event we did in Marshall at this former feed mill and pickle factory turned into a event space. The first time we didn't bring enough, did like $1,300 in sales just because it was the first event. Didn't know how to figure it out. This time we brought a lot more, sold out again.
good.
So they like us. They want us to come back during football season and run like game day favorites like wings and pulled pork sandwiches, stuff like that. I said, let me know. I'll see if I'm available. Wednesday the 23rd was a very interesting day. I had a phone call with my trailer manufacturer to go over the layout and make sure everything was good and answer all the questions I had. And me being the question guy, that was about an hour long. Otherwise, I guess I didn't know that when you order black wheels and it says 3-3 blackout package, That doesn't mean you're getting the blackout package. That means just the wheels are black. So when we were going over like the stone guard and the aluminum tread plate and all the trim and everything, I said, "That's all black, right?" No. Like, but I ordered black wheels and it says blackout. I said, "That's 3 of 3." So you get the side corner. The number 1 is side corners. The number 2 is the stone guard up front. Like, oh, well, it's only $395 for the rest of it. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm ordering a black trailer, so I as well keep it black. Don't need any chrome anywhere. And then Thursday and Friday was a private event at a very large steel company. So Thursday night, you were talking about weather. So this was scheduled to take part Thursday night from 9 to 11 at night to help third shift guys. We get there, everything's good. No rain, little lightning, little flashes of light here and there. And by like 9:40, the heavens opened and just downpoured, and then the winds picked up. And I'm surprised this tent didn't fly away. It was pretty impressed. But I'm telling you, people scattered like mice, and they were just running for the hills. I sat there and wrote it out, and I can give you an idea of what it feels like. Do you remember Warsaw?
Oh yeah, I remember the microburst we had at Warsaw.
Well, that's what it felt like. It was that windy, that heavy.
Yeah, From what I've heard, it's about similar. I know in Grand Rapids area, I think they recorded 85-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah. So we had that night. We had a tornado about 40 miles north of us in Williamston that ran through. It was in F1. There was one that went through Monroe, which is east of us. Of course, went through a trailer park. Feel bad for those people. And the flooding in outside Metro Detroit is unbelievable. I mean, there's highways that are still flooded to this day. It's crazy. And then again, if for anybody listening, I'm sorry if I offend you when I say this, don't be an idiot and try to drive through floodwaters. It doesn't work. Turn around, stop, do something. I don't care how tall your jacked up truck is. Don't do it. It's just stupid. Anyway, there's my right for the day. Just don't do it. It's dumb. There's even semi-drivers. I don't care if your engine's 4 feet off the ground. Don't drive through it. So anyway, Saturday we went to the famous Dave's in Taylor, competed in a fun little barbecue contest, was able to score the #1 overall. It's a great payday. The ironic thing is, for the wild card entry, we turned in a dessert that we teamed up with a fellow food truck friend of ours, they run a 100% vegan food truck. So this was a 100% vegan dessert. And yes, a vegan dessert won a barbecue contest, which I think is pretty ironic. And it was 98% vegan because I had a little caramel on top, not realizing that caramel had milk in it. Anyway, so when I called her to tell her that, her dessert just won first place, she's like, awesome. I said, I had to make a little change. She's like, okay, what? I'm like, I drizzled a little caramel over the top. She's like, well, that sounds like a good idea, but that doesn't make it vegan anymore. I'm like, shit. And then yesterday we went through the hell of Ann Arbor traffic to go to the U of M campus and partake in a food truck rally feeding the student athletes, because today's the first day of school and the student athletes came in hungry. We served probably the most items because we just ran a tab. The most items we ever had, we were over 420 items. and we do smaller portions for this because they want it like a taste event, so they put different trucks. So we did a total after the discount we gave them. It was like $2,600. They gave us a $400 tip. Other than that was great. So that capped off our awesome month. 36,000, almost 37.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of. I was going back and forth between last month because it was our best, and this month my sales transactions are down, but my average ticket is like $10 more.
Yeah.
Because the number of private events we had this month. So I'm very ecstatic to what September's looking great. I'm off this week. Somehow, for some reason or another, I didn't schedule anything, which worked out. I'm on Thursday, heading to Wisconsin with a buddy to do a KCBS comp. We're going as Team Boo Boo because it's at a Jellystone Park, and he's taller than me, so
that's surprising.
Shut up. But other than that, yeah, 30 with tips, a total of almost 40,000.
Well, you don't count tips.
I know, but so leads me to a question. So I'll ask the first question of the day.
Okay.
When you do these type of events, okay, so this was a tasting event, and I went up to the lady who I thought was in charge, and she ended up being in charge. And I said, so how do we settle up? Or who do I settle up with? And she's like, oh, it's me. It's good. She's like, yeah. So the other food trucks, so there was a pizza truck, there was a taco truck, one of those acai bowl trucks.
Yep.
And an ice cream truck. Ice cream truck took off like an hour early, so I don't think he brought enough ice cream. She said that everybody else gave her a flat number. So, like, the pizza guy probably said, okay, I'll cook, 200 pies. We were told to have enough servings for 200 people.
Okay.
And it was, like, easily 500 to 600 there. So I told her I would run a tab at our menu prices, and I'd give a 25% discount at the end because of the portion size. She's like, okay, that's fine. So when I told her how much it was, it was like $26.93. She's like, oh, okay, let me go grab my card. Everybody else gave me kind of a flat number. How would we give a flat number? Is it just say, hey, you get any sandwich and any side for X price, or you get a meal for X price? But if they just come up and they just want a sandwich and not a side, I guess I don't know how to do that. So that's why I just said I'll run a tab. Like, I could understand how the pizza truck or the bowl truck or even the taco truck.
Yeah. So, okay. We're doing a flat amount for a wedding that we're doing next year. Service off the truck, our full menu. They're doing 2 food trucks for 150 people. Mm-hmm. She wants us to figure on feeding 100.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. So I gave him a flat fee.
Mm-hmm.
Of $2,200, I think.
No, I've done for like a wedding. I'm okay with.
So it's the same thing.
It's not though, because there's.
So you're clearly not in this event to make a lot of money, right?
Well,
because you're giving 25% discount.
Well, no, because I'm doing the smaller portions.
Okay.
I'm not charging the same price for smaller portions.
Yeah, so you know that to expect 200. Just figure out whatever the amount is that you need to make, or the price you need to charge to be able to make what is a satisfactory amount for you. Because you already know what you're going to make. You're going to make 200 portions of samples. So you got to do the math on what it costs you to do a sample. Like, are we talking like sliders or just meat?
No, I'm doing sliders.
Yeah,
basically sliders. They're smaller buns, a scoop of mac and cheese, or.
We already know. We already know what we charge for slide. We do sliders all the time. Okay, no, we did do this. Okay, so yeah, we did a golf outing. It was a fundraiser for the Hudsonville football team, and they did a golf outing, and they had food stations set up around the course. We offered chicken sliders or pulled pork sliders, and a boat, and then a side of whatever.
So how do you do that if the meat that you're providing is not technically the same or in the same price point? So pork and chicken will be in the same price point where brisket and pork aren't.
Well, I wouldn't do brisket.
Well, that's our menu.
I understand. But yeah, I mean, you don't run the same menu everywhere you go, do you? Like, we didn't run our full menu for the fundraiser.
No, but for this I did because I'd already been there before.
Okay.
That's why I just did it that way, is because I thought it would be the easiest way to do it.
Why the small? I guess I'm confused. Why the smaller port? What kind of event is this? Like, what are they? Is it?
It's a food truck rally, but it's like a tasting event. So they want all the kids to experience more than just one truck. So if I'm giving a full portion out, they don't want a kid to get full and not go try somebody else.
So it's at a school?
U of M Stadium. Yeah, U of M.
Oh, so the athletic thing.
Yes, it was to feed the back.
These are not kids. These are grown athletes that eat 4 billion calories a day.
I get it. And there was like 3 people. One of them was a girl that got a lot of food.
Yeah.
So it was. So these were all student athletes.
Okay. F Michigan, charge them whatever you need to charge to make money. Give them a flat fee of $15 a person. You want them to feed? You want 200 servings? It's going to cost you $30,000.
See, I did that because if I didn't go to the Famous Dave's, I was reached out to do to feed the law school at U of M.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them. I said it'd be $2,400. Like, that's my flat fee, and then they chose somebody else because I was too expensive.
Yeah. And that's going to.
So it's like it seems like the athletic program has the money, but maybe the law school doesn't.
Of course they do.
I don't know.
I don't know if you saw that big giant stadium they have there that seats like 120,000 people that's sold out for 6 games a year.
Yeah, we were just outside that. Yeah, I know.
What day were you there?
Yesterday.
Sunday. So Caledonia had their season opener. They played at the Big House. They played against Romeo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a top 15 matchup in the state. I think Romeo was ranked 15th and Caledonia is ranked 5th, and they played at the Big House.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, it was. Sounds like it was a pretty cool thing. So.
Yesterday or
Saturday?
Saturday.
No, Friday night. I'm sorry, it was a Friday game.
Got to remember those Friday night lights.
Well, they played at 3:30.
Oh, that sucks.
Apparently, they didn't want a bunch of high school students driving 3 hours home from Ann Arbor. There's curfews and things for student drivers.
Good point. I assume they didn't.
They didn't want anybody stumbling into a frat house after the game or something like that.
Construction down there is horrible, so good luck to all that.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah,
being move-in week and all.
I mean,
it was kind of cool. I was like, you're going to see. I told my helper, I'm like, you're going to see people that are going to make millions of dollars. We get to feed those people.
Yeah.
And then the lady who was paying, we told her that, and she's like, "Yep, hell, in NIL deals, these kids make more than I do."
Oh yeah.
What shit?
Absolutely. But be careful, university. You buying hamburgers for kids, you get suspensions and stuff. So, yeah. So I mean, you have what your half day fee is and your full day fee is, right?
Yeah, it made us money. We were fine with what we did.
So what did you end up charging them?
It was $26.93 was the final tab.
Yeah,
for 2-hour service. So
for 2 hours of service, and you served how many? Like 200? You think?
Oh, easily. Yeah.
I think that's an okay day.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not upset by it at all. I just when she said that, I kind of got taken aback by it. Is just because they charged her a flat and I ran a tab. And I told her I was running a tab, so it's not like anything she didn't know about, but mainly probably because she was busy. And the music, they had a DJ, he was louder than loud. Like, just loud. just, and we were directly across from him. Loud. And I found the pizza guy was a jackass. Like, I think you're humble. Okay, I'll like if you get an award for food trucks, or people give you good reviews or whatever, I think you personally are pretty humble.
I try to be.
And I think as a business owner, I think it's good to be humble, and it's not good to just continue to think that your shit don't stink. You can have an ego that you think your food's the best, and I get that, but like, don't personally put anybody else's food down just to prop yours up. Pizza guy was doing that. It kind of just irritated me.
Really?
Yeah, it was just wrong. And then he's like, "Oh, I can get pizzas out in 90 seconds." So we had the most people in line, and we were just slinging them out. I mean, it was our longest ticket. I think took like 5 minutes. So the downside with kids though is they just hover, they just flock like to each other.
Right.
And then we tell them, "Hey, don't walk away because it's coming out in 10 minutes or 10 seconds."
Yeah.
And what they do? Walk away.
Yeah.
Like, I need to invest in a megaphone. Say, "Hello."
You didn't do a PA system on your trailer, on your new one?
No. Should have, but no.
So you said you got a sound system. Is it just Bluetooth? Or how does that work?
Just a radio system kind of thing. Has a radio in it.
You should see if they have one that has an input on it.
Oh, for a microphone?
Yeah, so you could just do a little microphone.
Well, maybe I could do that. I gotta figure out where they're putting the radio. I don't know that part yet.
Yeah, see if you can get one that has an input, not an output, but an input, and then you can just you can just do a wired microphone into it to be able to call names. I've thought about that a lot of times and how we can try to do that. I think we're going to end up going to pagers for some of our bigger, especially for the bigger events where we actually have people waiting for 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
For food. Just because
I hear you get them on Amazon pretty cheap.
Yeah. We're pretty fortunate. I mean, people kind of pay attention to who ordered in front of them. And for the most part, our food comes out in the order that it's received. Every once in a while, we'll sneak through somebody will have one item, that we can get out real quick to them. But so people kind of pay attention to who gets their food.
One problem
they're up next type of thing, but
one problem both of my helpers have is names. And so Square, when you run a tab, the only way you can put a name in is in like the note of a sandwich. Yeah. So if you click a sandwich, you can put the name in there. And she's like, "I can't stand this. The computer," because we're using an iPad now. Mm-hmm. We changed the whole system up. But she's like, "The computer keeps trying to change the name." So I tell her, and I show her, I said, "Well, if that's what you want to type, just push the thing and it won't change it. It won't autocorrect it. It'll just, the first little thing, just push it." So we had like a Jillian and a Dylan. And different orders too. Like, mind you, different orders. And she's like, she'll look at the ticket and say, "Jillian." And like some kid will come up and he's like, "My name's Dylan." And she'll just hand it to him. So we had like three or four of those. I'm just handing it to somebody that sounds the same.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those.
Like, you're the one taking the orders. I'm like, and maybe, I don't know. Maybe Chris can answer this. Like, you're the one taking the orders. Don't you remember the face of whoever's order you just took? So you know Jillian is not Dylan, and you just might have typed in the wrong name?
We have a big problem with autocorrect sometimes on our...
yeah. Oh, hold on.
Mm-hmm. Skippy's Dirt Guy's back. It's amazing how much fill you need for mass burials. I'm just glad Skippy's getting these bodies taken care of finally. Neighbors are really complaining about the smell.
Neighbor's not complaining about no smell. That's the dirt guy. He's on his way. So I gotta run out real quick. So you're gonna have to hold the fort down by yourself.
Jesus.
What are you gonna talk about? You're gonna talk about something.
I don't know. I wasn't prepared for solo time.
I gotta see if you can drop spread dirt. That's all I gotta see.
right. Well, I guess I'll talk about the intricacies of sauce.
Are you making your own sauce?
No. God, no. I still got like 3/4 of a pallet.
Yeah, it's a lot of sauce.
Swimming in sauce, baby. All right, go talk to your dirt guy. Bye.
I'm swimming. See? All right, be right back.
Bye.
Oh,
So while Skippy's gone, what should we talk about? Yeah, so Skippy kind of outlined his trailer adventures. I am creeping closer to figuring out what my second trailer is. Pretty happy still with the requests that we're getting for next year already. So I think that it definitely is warranting the purchase. I think the trailer will be plenty busy enough to pay for itself in the next 2 years. So, which is good. It's just a matter of how we wanted it laid out. I had originally, if you were listening last week, we talked about the layouts and having 2 different ordering windows, feeding 2 different sandwich making stations, and then 2 different people, 2 stations to hand out food to do those 2 different order lines. So, yeah, in a super busy festival, you're looking at 6 people running that thing. And so where my brain is still trying to figure out, is it better to do it that way, or better to have one line, one person taking the orders, and 2 people making sandwiches? So that one line feeding 2 different sandwich prep stations, just to get the food out quicker. Because right now, I mean, we can get to the point where we have 15, 20 15 to 20 tickets on the rail. So you multiply that by 2 with 2 people taking orders. Does it really benefit us to have 40 tickets on the rail and 40 people waiting for food? Or can we manage only having 4 tickets on the rail and just cranking through people? I think the latter, with 1 order taking window and 2 sandwich entree maker people, is quicker and faster. I think that overall would be a quicker overall experience, and result in the shortest wait times, which means we can get food out, which means we can have more people in line, essentially. People like seeing lines move, especially when you have multiple options of food trucks with lots of long lines. Typically, the quick line will get the people. So I'm leaning towards that and just trying to figure out how we can lay that out. Still, maybe even shorten the trailer a little bit. Still working with the health department on making sure we're good to use trailer 1 almost as a commissary. And also a secondary smoker on the not housed on a trailer, to also make food. So once we get those things cleared out, I won't be pulling the trigger until December, probably. That way we have a March delivery, hopefully. And that gives us time to get things situated with the health department, get everything set up and loaded, and be ready for April or May events. That's the plan right now, I think. And then, we'll need a second truck. And I don't know if we talked about this on the air, or Skippy and I just had the conversation off air. But he looked at some small old transit Sprinter vans. Because I had talked about doing one of those for catering and delivery and just having it loaded all the time for those kind of chafing dishes and things, for when we do just drop-off stuff. And surprisingly, pretty cheap. A $6,000 to $7,000 little vehicle for running supplies and running catering, or even doing shopping trips with it. Without having to use personal vehicles sounds pretty remarkable. But at that point in time, I'm with another truck and another trailer. I'm officially out of room on property. So at that point now, we're looking at off-premise facilities, and I still have my eye on a building. I know we haven't talked about it a lot, but it's one of those things where if it's still there in another year or so, if this next year goes as expected, then yeah, we start looking at that and the next phase goes. So yeah, it's that's where we're kind of heading. And every time I seem to back to my week and the universe kind of giving clues and things and pushing you. I'm a big believer in manifestation, and what you put out there is what you seek and what you get. But the the universe is going to make sure that you're ready and try to deter you, and you're going to see all these things as signs that you shouldn't. A bad week. The more we talked about trailers, the worse the week seemed to get. The more I looked at financing and stuff, the worse the week seemed to get. And it's easy for you to get in your head saying, "See, I don't want to have to deal with this for 2 trailers. It's just going to be twice the headache, twice the stress." And I think part of that's true. But then you just remind yourself that you had all the same anxieties and thoughts before trailer 1 arrived and the whole first year. And everything kind of works out, and you figure it out and you work it out. And yeah, I mean, I'm much better equipped to handle the second one. We have some solid staff in place to be able to handle a second one, or at least the building blocks to get to a fully staffed 2 trailers. So feeling pretty good about it. In the universe, while maybe questioning if I am truly ready and truly committed, I am. In the farmyard reference, where a chicken and pig have different levels of commitment to breakfast, where the chicken's involved, but the pig is committed. We are definitely at pig level, so we are committed, even if that means death. So, yeah, and trailer 2 will be wrapped. Trailer 1 will be wrapped. Working with Patrick Carlson, trying to get the accurate dimensions of the outside of our trailer on where windows and awning brackets are and everything for him. For those that don't know Patrick Carlson, I know a lot of barbecue guys do. He does a lot of logos and stuff for barbecue teams and cartoons. He's a cartoonist by trade. He did our logo, the one that you see behind me right now, for Monday Morning Food Truck. He did my previous logo for the competition team. That's what Rex and Smoking Butts. Yeah, he's talented. He does good work. He has a quick turnaround, which are all good things for us. So yeah, and he's willing to design the wrap for me. So based on everything I've said, clearly it's gonna be a very fun wrap. I have a couple good what I think are good ideas. We'll see how they translate to his genius mind. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. Give the trailer a fun vibe. Yeah. So that being said, Skippy's still not back. Still out there playing with his dirt. Gosh, I wonder if we're going to be able to wrap up the show before he even gets back at 9:30. So, it's been an interesting year for me for quoting for the following year. We are not even at September yet, and I have invoiced 2 weddings and an open house with another wedding that is pretty close to booked, all for next year already. And I don't think I've ever booked this early. In fact, I used to tell people that we would have to wait off until November, December, and kind of see where prices are and stuff. And then we've lost those. We don't hear back from them later in the year after we reach out. So kind of taking a different approach and trying to lock these down now. know that prices may adjust a little bit here or there. But both weddings we've booked, we did a tasting for one at the truck, and that got us. And the second one was their experience, which I actually want to read the email. Hi, Skippy. You done playing in the sand?
I got 3 more loads coming.
Wow. You sure you can handle all those loads?
Oh, boy. We're just going there.
Yeah.
So we're reading emails, I heard?
I thought it was a good segue into Fran's comments.
Oh, hey, Mom. Loyal listener she is.
She said, can you give tickets to customers to turn in when they pick up their order at a large-scale event? Pre-printed ticket numbers.
The answer is...
Cost for $200
yes.
for 5,000 tickets. So.
Well, so your register will do that. You can print out 2, like one kitchen receipt, and it'll give you you can either do a name or you can do a number.
Yep.
So yeah, you could do that, but then trying to figure out numbers. Maybe. Bad time figuring out names. Numbers probably would be easier for me.
Yeah, all of it seems like extra steps.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's I hate paper, and what happens if you lose a ticket or someone loses their ticket, and then do you not give them their food?
Then you have
like,
a Dylan still.
Like I went over to the beer tent and I lost my ticket. I don't know what happened to it. So, yeah, I'm not saying it's not a good idea, and I think it works for some trucks, but yeah, I think we're definitely going to go to pagers. I've been to a couple trucks now where I've gotten pagers. I kind of like the process.
You really have to find the right ones though. So we did an Oktoberfest event last year, and it was only me. My helper didn't come, and I was just swamped. So the manager of the brewery that we were in came in, stepped up, and took payments for me. But she brought pagers that she said she got from Amazon. The problem with these pagers is to be able to. So let's say you've got 2 orders ready. To be able to page one or both of them, you have to page one, stop it, then page the other.
Oh.
And stop it.
So you can't page multiples at the same time?
Correct.
Oh. That'd be a
So
problem.
you have to watch out to see if you can page multiples at the same time.
Gotcha.
And then it's just button pressing, but it's more. Keep in mind, it's more countertop space too.
Yeah, I'm pretty limited on that currently, but no, I was just talking about our invoice dollars for next year already.
Did you secure that deal?
We're at 2 weddings and an open house already invoiced for next year.
Oh, okay.
So
you haven't secured Aetna yet?
No, they said they were waiting until the end of September because they want to get through this season's events before they even start really looking at next year's events.
Do you have any more events with them?
Yeah, we have 2.
Good.
In September, so. But no, so yeah, both weddings, both named Michaela, spelled differently though. Both Friday weddings. So one's a Friday the 13th. I was like, who gets married on a Friday the 13th?
Those people. Just those people. Yeah.
So keep in mind, I went through my week in the S show that whole thing was. How would you expect our demeanor and moods to be at Friday, or even any of those other days of the week? Maybe a little dejected. Not in the best of moods, probably.
Not the most personable?
Yeah. So I get this email yesterday afternoon. Hi, we tried your food truck this weekend and absolutely loved it. We are wondering if you do weddings and would travel to St. Joe, blah, blah, blah. The food was so good and we loved your energy. And think you'd be an amazing addition to the banger of a party we're going to throw. Chris and I...
Yes!
I read it. I gave it to Chris. I said, I don't know that they have the right truck.
Yeah.
This weekend? You came to us this weekend?
Yeah.
You were impressed with our energy? Because it didn't feel like we had our normal vibe going most of the weekend.
Because it's like, I wasn't impressed with our energy.
Unless you like
Yeah.
people yelling at each other, possibly yelling at customers. If that's what you're into, just let me know and we can make it happen for the day. But that's not normal for us.
I have gotten called out once for my energy.
Yeah.
It was from a top a hashtag top fan. She came to the truck, noticed I wasn't in the best of talkative moods, and she messaged me, and I replied, "Yeah, I apologize. It's been a long day." So I understand. So when I saw her again, it was like, "Am I better now?" So I had something I want to talk to you about. On Square on the dashboard, you can actually see the day of the week, so Sunday through Saturday, under sales summary, under reports, about what your top day is. And I'd like to know what your top selling day is, the day that garnered the most
For the
revenue.
year or for...
I just did for the month.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter for us. It's the same both ways. So, for the year, it's Friday. I mean, Friday's our best day.
All right, so let's do.
That's not true. I'm sorry. That is false.
Lying. Already.
Wednesday is our best day.
Okay.
But that could be... So keep in mind, that's whenever transactions... So if someone pays an invoice for the weekend on a Wednesday, that's going to slide. But this makes sense because of those Aetna counter days. I know at least 2 of them were on Wednesdays, including the 600-person one.
So mine
12 grand.
Mine is Thursday, which I thought was very weird because there's not a lot I do on Thursdays.
Yeah.
But it has the most payments or tickets, whatever, and is higher than Sunday by almost 10 grand. And Sunday is my second busiest day. Sunday and Saturday.
Oh. So yeah, ours goes Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday.
So then I clicked on this month in August just to see what the the original plan was. I was seeing what everything was. And for August, my sales day by a long shot was Sunday.
Yeah, for the month it's Friday. For the year though, Friday's 3rd. But for the whole first half of probably from when we opened through until June, Friday was our slowest day of the week. Sales, roadside stuff.
For August, my Saturday is the worst day.
That's
like Monday, Monday even beat Saturday.
We're not open on Mondays.
So Monday I had Saturdays over the course for this month I've had 63 tickets.
Yeah, I think last
It
year
obviously doesn't count any private events I had either, but just it was just bad. Anyway.
Yeah, last year Friday was our busiest day of the week. Friday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, that leads me to more questions.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that in your beginning tirade about how bad your week was.
Yeah.
Subs might have kind of fallen off.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it was you can do A, B, or a combination? Heat and back to school. Do you think back to school plays a bigger than a big factor in sub sales than the heat would, or do you think it was maybe a combination of both?
I think it is definitely if it's a combination, heat's I think ahead. I think we had a bigger hit for back to school stuff on weekends for the most part. Back to school shopping and stuff happening on weekends.
Yeah.
During the week, I mean, you have open houses and stuff, so yeah, that can have an effect. where people just aren't home. I mean, now you got, all the practices and stuff. But typically we see, decent sales through the fall at subdivisions, typically.
Yeah. My last sub that I went to normally is a good $1,000 sub, and I think I did like 400.
I would blame it.
Just because it was dead.
Yeah. So you get to those last couple weeks of summer, you got people trying to squeeze in a last vacation, or just last family time you can get, or you got practices coming and new schedules, and then you throw in 100-degree temperatures and stuff, and people are already tired, and the last thing they want to do is stand outside for 20 minutes. I think that has I think that's why July is our slowest month of the year. Is just because it's so warm between that and vacations.
Yeah, I think so. I think
we definitely have a sweet spot for temperature, and it's like it is today, like that mid-70s with low humidity.
Mid-70s, light breeze.
Yeah, it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect temperature to be outside. Yeah,
I had brought up about our last Sunday at our local Flavor Fruit Farm here, and I'm now seeing that their busiest. So they have food truck festivals every weekend, or they call it a festival, but they have 3 or 4 food trucks there. Now they're moving out of the sunflower fields. They're now going into apples, and you pick pumpkins and things like that. First, do you think that there's a core? I'm not going to say like a weekend thing where you got fall cleanups, people picking up leaves once that time comes, or even more back to school stuff. That Sundays for this type of event would actually be busier than Saturdays. Because I talked to one of the trucks that was there on Saturday this time, and they said it was just dead, no people, like nobody was there, and it's a popular place.
Yeah,
and you don't got to pay to see the food trucks. You got to pay to go back to wherever they were doing.
So, Deep Roots is where we've gone in the falls before for the same kind of thing. It's a farm stand. They've kind of added on every year. Before it was, they had pre-picked produce, and they also have you pick, even like cherry tomatoes. You can go out and pick your own tomatoes and stuff.
Okay.
And then pumpkins, and then they just started doing corn mazes, then sunflower fields, and all this stuff. So they have all the things. Petting farm. And Sunday's always been our day there. Because it's busier there on Sundays than it is on Saturdays.
Just seems like people are looking for something to do. They're not looking. They already have their Saturday planned, but they're looking for something to do on a Sunday.
And it's Sunday before 3:00 is what we notice. So, So if we don't sell out by 3:00, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So and it just kind of drops off a little bit. And I think we're only ever scheduled there until 4 or 5, just because there's not a whole lot after that. And they do. Now they're doing. Except I don't know that they do them on Sundays, but. So they do night events. So they do glow nights for the corn maze and that kind of stuff, and they'll do haunts and stuff in the corn maze too. So and I know there's trucks that stay for that, but I'm not, me and doing nighttime events. Until we have that level of staff and that outbuilding, have a facility to be able to store trailers and staff. Yeah, I'm not getting back to my house at 11 o'clock to be up at 3:30. It's too much for me. I get little sleep as it is. I can't. You start adding those days together, and it gets pretty rough pretty fast. So I know my limits, and the way we're doing things is working well enough. So for now, that's how we're going to do it. So. Now with the second trailer and being able to, I know that Deep Roots has allowed trailers to pull in on a Friday and leave the trailer there for the weekend. So if that's something we can do with the second trailer on those weekends that we have fully available, then great. And we can do that, and we can just load the trailer with food, and then have staff show up there and work the trailer, and then leave it there, and I don't have to worry about it until Monday, type of thing.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because that's a damn good segue. I know we only have a few minutes left, but damn good segue. So everybody's been asking me now that people know that I'm purchasing a new trailer.
Why aren't you running 2 trailers?
What's going to happen to the trailer I have?
Uh-huh.
And it's got me thinking even more. My whole goal with this was not to run a second trailer. And people are saying, you should run a second trailer. And I'm thinking, well, if I run a second trailer, so I think what I'm going to do in the off season is look for a permanent spot to set it and not necessarily forget it, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My downside to that is that trailer needs, I need a generator for it. I can't just, I got to find somebody that's got a 220 hookup. And that part is going to be the tough part.
Or you empty it out every night.
True.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I was thinking the same thing. Finding a...
Well, here's the thing is I still have to load up the generator too. And I would have to go there. Somebody would have to go there every week or every day and unload and then load up the generator.
Or just leave it there. Just chain it to the wheels of the trailer.
Yeah, that don't trust that at all. I'm just saying.
I mean, if you're going to trust your trailer there, I mean...
It takes a lot of work to, like, you have to have a big enough truck to be able to pull that trailer.
That trailer's come up missing all the time.
I know.
Does that generator, do you think that generator would fit through the door of the trailer?
No. I already tried. I could get 2 of the ones that you have.
Yeah.
And put those in there and tandem them, but
you're gonna need extra generators anyways for your other trailer if you're gonna run 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Find a semi-permanent spot for the one trailer, and it gets pulled out when we have other events.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the same thing. What do we do about power? I don't want to have generators running 24/7 all summer long. Yeah. So I was thinking, we just pull everything out because we're not going to have a ton of fridge stuff. You know, we'll have coleslaw, potato salad, and condiments for the day. Those are easy enough to throw in a cooler and take back and put in a refrigerator.
Yep.
And then pop. Really, we're not keeping much in the fridges right now. So, pop will get cold enough, quick enough, and it'll stay pretty cool overnight.
And then the other thing is trying to find who's going to run it and what are the hours going to be. So I've got some math to do and figure out if it's financially worth it.
Yeah. So for me, I was thinking probably just doing lunch wherever it's set up. It just does a 3-hour type service. If we can find the right location near other restaurants like a McDonald's and Burger King on a strip that gets that kind of service, and then it's there for 4 days a week or 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's out at wherever it needs to be. Not do Sundays, not do Mondays.
So I guess you're lucky enough you have Chris who can pull another trailer. Like you might have to buy another truck, but he can pull a trailer and knows how to work it.
Yeah.
So I only have a person that knows how to work the trailer. I don't have a person that can pull it. So I gotta worry about that too.
Well, now's the time to start training them. Let them drive the truck and the trailer and practice. Chris had never pulled a trailer before he started working for me.
Well, I never pulled a trailer until I bought one, so I get that part.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he had experience beforehand,
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, and neither did I. That was the first trailer bigger than a utility trailer that I've pulled. But you learn how it moves, and if anything, these trailers are easier to maneuver than, at least like backing up and stuff, are easier to maneuver than small utility trailers. Because they have weight to them, they don't. And you can still jackknife them pretty easy, but you're not going to get it squirreled away on you super easy. So, yeah, now's the time. If you think you have somebody that's going to be with you for next year or the year after, yeah, you know, if you get to an event early and they're there early with you, then have them back into a spot. You know,
Yeah.
start getting them comfortable now versus when you absolutely need somebody. You know, it's all about planning ahead. But yeah, you're going to need more staff. Clearly, I mean,
Wow. Like I know.
Skippy, welcome to the world of business ownership and expansion. More money, more problems, buddy.
It's just money they print it every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Speaking of
yeah,
that.
it's a.
You go to the bank.
I mean, worst case, you use the second trailer only for events, like
Well-
you have 2 weddings that you need to go to on the same day. You know?
Yeah, but yeah, it's because then I'd have to buy another truck.
Yeah.
I kind of like the permanent spot of just sitting it somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I could just sit it in Brooklyn and
I
let somebody.
guarantee you, you're going to get that day though that you already have a wedding booked and there's another wedding, and you're like, well.
Can you come pick it up from our permanent site?
That's right. I'll give you a 10% discount if you come pick the trailer up and bring it to your house. Yeah, I mean we've gotten ourselves into trouble with that. I mean, where we kind of
I wonder, can I hire somebody with a Super Duty just to pull a trailer?
probably could. I mean,
I probably
yeah.
could.
Where you get yourself overextended for a day, but I can't imagine what I will do to us when we have 2 trailers getting booked for 3 events each in a day.
See,
That might
and
be the
that's
last
the
day I
thing.
have
So,
Chris.
all right. So what worries me about having multiple trailers is I don't want to get in the situation that one of our other food truck friends who we had on our podcast, Num Num Ninja, has. He's got 4 trailers out,
Mhm.
and it's just to me that's like a logistical nightmare. 4 trailers out, 4 sets of egos, 4 sets of wherever you're going,
There
4
shouldn't
sets of
be egos
permits.
anywhere involved with 4 trailers. The only ego would be Brandon's, if there's any.
Okay.
But yes, it is a logistical nightmare, and that's part of getting yourself off
It's like
the
you're running
trailer on a
trucking.
daily basis. And that's you managing the business instead of working the business. You know, or having
Which is what
somebody
you
that
wanna
can,
do.
or having an assistant that can do all your scheduling for you. But for me, I have a harder time letting go of that, the scheduling part, than working on the trailer, because I have a better idea of what our smoker can handle, you know, with number of proteins and different kinds of proteins. That kind of ballet of what we can put out for multiple events, where it would make me very nervous to have somebody else do that and to make those calculations, because it's not a science. It's a If I was a mathematician, I'm sure I could kind of figure out some sort of formula of proteins to square footage to whatever. But I mean, you throw briskets into something and it's all for naught because they're so damn big. They take up so much room for the same amount of meat as 2 pork butts, or you know, same space as 2 pork butts, but for half the meat.
And they're getting so small.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have to make twice as many of briskets. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass right now. So yeah, having somebody else make those estimations and stuff, I would much rather be involved there and have somebody making sandwiches on the truck is where I'm at. So that's me getting off the truck and getting some better balance in my life too at the same time.
Behind the scenes.
Yep, because I have 0 balance right now. But Chris has had a day off the last 3 weeks. I have given myself a day off the last couple weeks.
And Caleb's just in there sweating up a storm.
Fuck yeah, he is. Well, he keeps wanting more hours.
Young kid.
Yeah.
Go get him.
But yeah, it's
Is he working
as much
out?
of a day off as I can get. So
Is he working out good?
we're getting there.
Good.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, he's a 20-year-old kid. yeah, we'll get him into a hardworking, strapping young man. Yeah, and Chris is getting annoyed with him with the same things I got annoyed with Chris at in the beginning, and I just kind of sit back and laugh when it happens. So
it's like I'm your parent. I used to tell you that as a kid.
So, but yeah, and I'm aware that I was telling Chris to do things or telling Chris not to do things that I also did and continued to do afterwards. But so he's kind of having the same role. So we just need to be more consistent throughout the whole truck. So when we can and cannot pull out our phones and veg out for 5 minutes on Facebook or whatever, when there's a pile of food on a counter or something, that's not the time.
Last thing, are you working Labor Day weekend?
Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but yeah, no Monday, no Tuesday.
So you are working? Okay.
Yeah, we got a couple campgrounds that we're doing Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
See how those go. But yeah, we'll be off our normal Monday, and then the day after Labor Day, we are always closed because it's usually a pretty slow day for us.
Day after Labor Day, I'm setting up in my own sub, so I don't have to go too far.
You're just pulling down to the end of your driveway.
No, I'm going to get more centrally located, but yeah, I already told people have been asking me to do it, so we have about 50 homes in our sub, so we'll see how many people show up.
Yeah, make sure you clear it with the homeowners association and
well, we don't have one, so that's
your
good.
local house party permit.
It's funny, we have a retired cop who does all the party planning for the whole subdivision. He has one of those neon signs that has the blinking arrow. Like he put it in somebody's yard who just moved into the sub, and he put it on caster, so he just rolls it. Really long extension cord. But he was throwing back to school snow cones and slushies the other day. I don't think he has any kids, so maybe it's just that. No, so we're gonna do that. Everybody's been asking us. We're gonna take this week off to recharge our batteries and do some yard work before my wife yells at me anymore. And yeah, I'm overly excited about what next month looks like. I'm doing more private events, and I guess I'm, again, humbled is the right word. So many people are.
I'm digging private events, and I'd do them 6 days a week if I could. So.
And so, all right, we're done. We'll leave that for next week.
Okay, make a note so you remember.
I got it right here. Got it on my notepad.
All right, guys. Everybody have a good week. We will be doing a podcast on Labor Day. Yeah?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'll be here.
All right, 9 o'clock. We'll be live. Listen to us. Comment, share.
Find us.
Everybody. Good week. See ya. Bye.
Recording stopped.
Oh, that's not the right spot. There's the right spot. Now